You're standing in the snack aisle at the grocery store, staring at those colorful bags of almonds, peanuts, cashews, and walnuts. The labels are full of promises: heart healthy, protein packed, good for you. And for decades, you believed it. But here's the truth no one in the health world is talking about. If you're over 60, not all nuts are created equal. In fact, the wrong ones could be silently working against your heart, your brain, your energy levels, and even aspects of your health you might consider private, like your sexual vitality. Meanwhile, the right ones could be doing far more for you than you ever realized. They can act like natural medicine. And the difference between the two? It's not just the nut itself. It's how your aging body reacts to it. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will change how you look at your nut bowl forever. According to the latest research in senior nutrition, the way your body processes food undergoes a massive shift after 60. What was a perfectly healthy snack at 40 might now be something your digestive system groans at, your arteries don't appreciate, or your blood sugar finds difficult to handle. This is especially true for nuts, which are incredibly dense little packages of both power and potential problems. Let's talk about something rarely discussed: how the wrong nuts can negatively impact senior sexual health. It might sound surprising, but it comes down to two main issues: blood flow and inflammation. Sexual function is incredibly dependent on healthy circulation. Good blood flow is absolutely essential. Some nuts, like peanuts and cashews, are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. While we need some omega-6s, the typical modern diet is already overflowing with them. When omega-6s aren't balanced by anti-inflammatory omega-3s, they can promote systemic inflammation. This chronic, low-grade inflammation damages the delicate lining of your blood vessels, making them less flexible and impairing circulation everywhere, including where it matters most. This can quietly undermine vascular health, which is a cornerstone of sexual vitality for both men and women. Furthermore, if a nut is heavily salted, that excess sodium can contribute to hypertension, another enemy of healthy blood flow. And if it's roasted in cheap vegetable oils, you're adding more inflammatory compounds to the mix. So that handful of salted peanuts isn't just a snack. It could be a tiny wrench thrown into the gears of your circulatory system. But don't you dare panic. This isn't about giving up nuts altogether. It's about being brilliantly strategic. Your body at 70 has different priorities than it did at 30. Now it's about preserving muscle, fighting inflammation, protecting your heart and brain, and supporting all-around vitality. Nuts can help you do all of this, if you're selective. So let's get into the specifics. Which nuts should you be cautious with, and which should become your new best friends? First, the nuts that might be working against you. We're talking about peanuts, which aren't even true nuts but legumes, and they are often riddled with inflammatory omega-6 and are highly susceptible to mold. Then there are cashews, which are delicious but higher in carbohydrates than most nuts, which can make it harder to maintain stable blood sugar levels, and they also contain phytates that can block the absorption of crucial minerals like zinc, a key player in immune function, and you guessed it, sexual health. Brazil nuts are a special case. Eating just one or two gives you a colossal boost of selenium, but overdoing it can actually lead to selenium toxicity, causing fatigue and hair loss. Macadamia nuts, while containing good fats, are the most calorie-dense of all, making portion control absolutely critical to avoid unwanted weight gain. Pistachios are often sold shelled and roasted in salt, leading to mindless overeating and a sodium overload. And finally, be wary of any nuts, especially almonds, that are labeled smoked, honey roasted, or HDHO, high-stability oils, as these processing methods can introduce inflammatory compounds and unwanted sugars. Now for the heroes. These are the nuts that truly earn their superfood status for seniors. Let's start with the mighty walnut. Walnuts are a superstar because they are one of the only nuts that contain a significant amount of anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA. This helps balance those omega-6s we talked about, directly supporting brain health and promoting flexible, healthy blood vessels for improved circulation. Then we have almonds, a fantastic source of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells from damage, and magnesium, which is vital for blood pressure regulation and nerve function. For a nut that's easy on the teeth and digestion, consider pecans. They're packed with antioxidants and have been shown in studies to help lower LDL cholesterol levels. If heart health is a top concern, you'll want to become best friends with hazelnuts. They are overflowing with folate, which is crucial for reducing homocysteine levels, a major risk factor for heart disease. For a thyroid and immune system boost, just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day will provide all the selenium your body needs without going overboard. And finally, don't overlook the humble pine nut. These tiny gems are excellent for sustained energy because they help slow down digestion, keeping you full and your blood sugar stable, and they contain zinc, which supports immune function and cellular repair. The way you prepare these nuts matters tremendously. Ditch the salted, oil-roasted versions. Instead, choose raw or dry roasted. Even better, try soaking your almonds or walnuts overnight in water. This simple act deactivates the enzyme inhibitors and reduces phytates, making them much easier to digest and allowing your body to access all those wonderful minerals inside. Portion control is your secret weapon. A serving is not a giant fistful. It's a small handful, about 1/4 of a cup. This is enough to get the benefits without overloading your system with calories. When you get this right, you'll feel the difference. Your energy will be steadier throughout the day. You might notice less joint stiffness. Your focus will feel sharper. And you'll be taking proactive, powerful steps to protect your heart, your brain, and your overall vitality, including the intimate aspects of your health that depend on great circulation. This is one of the simplest and most effective dietary adjustments you can make. You don't have to give up flavor or spend a fortune. You just need to shift your choices to work with your body, not against it. You now know which nuts to embrace and which to be cautious with. But what if I told you that timing and combination are just as critical as the choice itself? For seniors, unlocking the full potential of these nutritional powerhouses means understanding how to integrate them into your body's daily rhythm and pair them with other foods for maximum benefit. Let's talk about timing. Your metabolism has a circadian rhythm just like your sleep-wake cycle. Eating the right foods at the right time can amplify their effects. For instance, having a small portion of almonds or walnuts in the morning can be a strategic masterstroke. The healthy fats and protein provide a slow, sustained release of energy, preventing the mid-morning blood sugar crash that often leads to reaching for a sugary coffee or a muffin. This stable energy foundation can set a positive metabolic tone for the entire day, helping to manage cravings and maintain focus. Conversely, eating a heavy, calorie-dense handful of nuts right before bed might not be the best idea for some. While the tryptophan in nuts can theoretically support sleep, for those with slower digestive systems, the body might be working hard to process those fats instead of winding down into deep, restorative sleep. If you enjoy an evening snack, a single Brazil nut for its selenium, or a few pecans might be a lighter choice than a large serving of macadamias. Listen to your body. Does a late-night snack make you feel restful or restless? Now let's dive into the powerful concept of food synergy. The idea that certain foods eaten together enhance each other's nutritional absorption. This is a game changer for seniors, as nutrient absorption becomes less efficient with age. Take the issue of phytates, which we mentioned can bind to minerals. You can practically solve this problem at your dinner plate. Pairing zinc-rich nuts like pecans or pine nuts with a source of vitamin C, such as bell peppers in a salad or some citrus juice in a dressing, can significantly improve your body's uptake of that crucial mineral. The vitamin C helps overcome the inhibitory effects of phytates, ensuring those immune-boosting minerals actually get to work inside you. Another powerful combination? Nuts and leafy greens. The fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin E in almonds, require dietary fat to be absorbed. Tossing a handful of slivered almonds into your spinach salad does more than add crunch. It acts as a delivery system, ensuring you absorb the wealth of nutrients from those greens far more effectively than if you ate them alone. But the synergy isn't just about vitamins and minerals. Consider the impact on blood sugar. Eating nuts. With a carbohydrate-rich food is one of the smartest moves a senior can make. The fiber and fat in the nuts slow down the digestion of the carbohydrates, preventing a rapid spike in blood sugar. So, adding walnuts to your morning oatmeal or eating a few cashews with an apple creates a more balanced, gentle glucose release. This protects your pancreas, provides steady energy, and helps manage weight. Beyond the physical, let's address the psychological aspect of this change. Switching from a beloved salty peanut to a raw walnut can feel like a sacrifice. The key to making this change stick is not through willpower alone, but through culinary creativity. Don't just eat walnuts plain. Toast them lightly in a dry pan for 3 to 4 minutes. This transforms their flavor, releasing deep, earthy oils and making them incredibly fragrant. A pinch of cinnamon or a light sprinkle of sea salt, if your blood pressure allows, can make them feel like a gourmet treat, not a health prescription. Make your own trail mix, but on your terms. Combine those approved almonds and walnuts with unsweetened coconut flakes, a few dark chocolate chips, 85% cacao or higher for antioxidants and low sugar, and some pumpkin seeds for an extra magnesium boost. You control the ingredients, avoiding the inflammatory oils and excessive sugar found in store-bought mixes. For those who find nuts too hard to chew, nut butters are a fantastic alternative. But beware. This is a major Xianjing trap. Most commercial nut butters are filled with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and salt. The answer is simple. Find a brand that has only one ingredient on the label, the nut itself. Or better yet, make your own in a food processor. It's surprisingly easy, and you get the freshest, most nutrient-dense spread possible. A tablespoon of pure almond butter on celery sticks is a perfect, balanced snack. Make your own trail mix, but on your terms. Combine those approved almonds and walnuts with unsweetened coconut flakes, a few dark chocolate chips, 85% cacao or higher for antioxidants and low sugar, and some pumpkin seeds for an extra magnesium boost. You control the ingredients, avoiding the inflammatory oils and excessive sugar found in store-bought mixes. For those who find nuts too hard to chew, nut butters are a fantastic alternative. But beware. This is a major Xianjing trap. Most commercial nut butters are filled with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and salt. The answer is simple. Find a brand that has only one ingredient on the label, the nut itself. Or better yet, make your own in a food processor. It's surprisingly easy, and you get the freshest, most nutrient-dense spread possible. A tablespoon of pure almond butter on celery sticks is a perfect, balanced snack. View this not as a restrictive diet, but as an experiment in self-awareness. You are the expert on your own body. Keep a simple mental log. How do you feel 2 hours after eating pecans? Energized and satisfied, or slightly sluggish? Does a morning Brazil nut seem to correlate with a brighter mood and more stable energy? This biofeedback is more valuable than any generic health article. By moving beyond simply which nut to choose and embracing the when and the with what, you transition from passive consumer to active nutritional architect. You're not just avoiding inflammation, you're actively engineering meals for optimal absorption, stable energy, and long-term vitality. This nuanced understanding is what separates those who simply age from those who thrive brilliantly through their later years, enjoying every ounce of energy and clarity they've wisely cultivated. The Senior's Nut Guide, Beyond the Basics, The Science of Digestion, The Art of Preparation, and Your Personal Blueprint. So, you've got the list. You know the 6 to be cautious with and the 6 to embrace, but if we stop there, we'd only be scratching the surface. For those of us over 60, the real magic and the real results happen when we understand the why on a deeper level and master the how. This isn't just about swapping one snack for another, it's about fundamentally upgrading your nutritional strategy to work in harmony with your body's changing biology. Let's pull back the curtain on the single biggest factor that changes the game after 60, the digestive fire. Think of your digestive system in your younger years as a roaring bonfire. You could throw almost anything on there, a big log, a steak, a damp leaf, greasy fast food, a handful of pine needles, a bag of nuts, and the fire would consume it, turning it into energy and warmth. Now, as we age, that bonfire often becomes more of a steady, reliable campfire. It's still strong, but it can't handle the same load or the same poor quality fuel. It needs kindling, not whole logs. It needs dry, well-prepared fuel, not damp, hard-to-burn material. This is the perfect metaphor for what happens with digestion. Stomach acid production naturally decreases, a condition known as hypochlorhydria. Enzyme output from the pancreas can slow down. This means the complex structures of nuts, their proteins, fats, and especially their protective compounds like phytates, are harder to break down. This is why that handful of raw almonds you could effortlessly digest at 40 might feel like a rock in your stomach at 70. It's not the almond's fault, nor is it entirely yours. It's that your digestive campfire isn't hot enough to break it down efficiently. The nut can pass through partially undigested, which means you miss out on its precious nutrients, and it can cause gas, bloating, and discomfort. So what's the solution? We have to pre-digest our nuts, and we do that through the ancient, simple practice of soaking and sprouting. This isn't a weird health fad, it's basic food science. Nuts and seeds contain enzyme inhibitors and phytic acid as a natural defense mechanism to prevent them from spoiling or sprouting until conditions are perfect. When you soak nuts in warm, lightly salted water, you are essentially tricking them into believing it's time to germinate. This process deactivates the enzyme inhibitors, making the nut easier to digest, significantly reduces phytic acid, which unlocks the minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, magnesium, so your body can actually absorb them. Breaks down complex sugars that can cause gas, softens the nut, making it much easier to chew for those with dental concerns. Deactivates the enzyme inhibitors, making the nut easier to digest. Significantly reduces phytic acid, which unlocks the minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, magnesium, so your body can actually absorb them. Breaks down complex sugars that can cause gas. Softens the nut, making it much easier to chew for those with dental concerns. Deactivates the enzyme inhibitors, making the nut easier to digest. Significantly reduces phytic acid, which unlocks the minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, magnesium, so your body can actually absorb them. Breaks down complex sugars that can cause gas. Softens the nut, making it much easier to chew for those with dental concerns. Deactivates the enzyme inhibitors, making the nut easier to digest. Significantly reduces phytic acid, which unlocks the minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, magnesium, so your body can actually absorb them. Breaks down complex sugars that can cause gas. Softens the nut, making it much easier to chew for those with dental concerns. How to do it? It's shockingly easy. 1. Place your raw almonds, walnuts, or pecans in a glass bowl. 2. Cover with warm filtered water. Add a teaspoon of high-quality sea salt or Himalayan pink salt per cup of nuts. 3. Let them soak on your counter for the recommended time, 8-12 hours for almonds, 4 to 6 for walnuts, as they are more delicate. 4. Drain, rinse thoroughly, and then you have a choice. Eat them immediately, they'll be soft and creamy, or dehydrate them in a low-temperature oven, under 150 degree, or a dehydrator to return them to a crunchy state. This low-temperature drying preserves the enzymes and doesn't recreate the hard-to-digest structure. The difference this makes is not subtle. People who once thought they couldn't digest nuts find they can enjoy them without any issue once they're properly prepared. You are transforming a potentially inflammatory, hard-to-process food into a truly gut-friendly superfood. The omega equation. It's all about balance. We touched on inflammation, but let's get crystal clear on the fats. The conversation isn't about good fats versus bad fats. It's about the balance between two essential families of centric polyunsaturated fats, omega-3 and omega-6. Both are essential, meaning our bodies can't produce them. We must get them from food. But they play very different roles. Omega-3s, like ALA in walnuts, EPA and DHA in fish, are powerfully anti-inflammatory. They help build brain cell membranes, support mood, and cool down inflammation throughout the body. The ideal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is believed to be around 4:1 or even 2:1. The problem? The modern diet, full of processed foods and certain oils, has pushed that ratio for most people to 21 or even 51. We are drowning in pro-inflammatory omega-6s. This chronic, systemic inflammation is the silent engine behind arthritis, heart disease, cognitive decline, and yes, impaired blood flow that affects vitality. So when you choose a nut high in omega-6s, without any omega-3s to balance it, you are pouring gasoline on that fire. When you choose a walnut, which has a better balance, you are adding a splash of water. This is why the peanut and cashew are so problematic. They are overwhelmingly high in omega-6s, with virtually no omega-3s to counterbalance them. The walnut, on the other hand, is the standout hero, providing a decent dose of omega-3 ALA to help restore balance. Action. Step. Don't just add walnuts. Also, actively reduce your intake of other omega-6 sources. This means cutting back on processed snacks, fried foods, and vegetable oils like corn, soybean, and sunflower oil. Replace them with olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. You fight inflammation on two fronts, by adding anti-inflammatory foods and by subtracting inflammatory ones. This is why the peanut and cashew are so problematic. They are overwhelmingly high in omega-6s with virtually no omega-3s to counterbalance them. The walnut, on the other hand, is the standout hero, providing a decent dose of omega-3 ALA to help restore balance. Action step. Don't just add walnuts. Also, actively reduce your intake of other omega-6 sources. This means cutting back on processed snacks, fried foods, and vegetable oils like corn, soybean, and sunflower oil. Replace them with olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. You fight inflammation on two fronts, by adding anti-inflammatory foods and by subtracting inflammatory ones. The portion paradox, why a handful is terrible advice. You'll always hear, eat a handful of nuts. For a senior, this is vague and potentially harmful.